Expert systems, right? Expert systems is what CCP just came up with to quote unquote fix the player retention problem. So if you don't know, Eve has added about or they say that they had over 1 million people try the game last year, right? People, not accounts, by the way. People, not accounts. And they, by my calculations, I have a little data model on the player base and player retention and that sort of stuff. I think like they've definitely definitely retained less than 100,000 of that, right? So I'm guessing they retain more like 50,000. So I think their retention rate, their player retention rate, is below 5%. And I don't know that stat for a lot of other games, but that sounds terrible. Right? So out of everyone that tries Eve, only about 5% stick around. But that's not surprising, right? Because Eve is a very difficult game. And so they have come out with various things over the past year to combat this this terrible retention rate. And one of the things was they were going to overhaul the new player experience. They came out with these new player videos now, right? They have a new tutorial, all that sort of stuff. And the latest in that is expert systems. And expert systems, what they do in a nutshell, I can just tell you, please read this, right? But essentially, new players can, for a temporary period, buy the skill package needed to do something in game, and they're going to start with exploration and mining, right? And so the thing is, it's only going to be possible with real cash, right? So this is not going to be possible to be bought by ISK or by Plex, only with real cash. And there's a ton of opinions that you can have about this, right? But I just I want to mention one basic impression that I have that maybe you can help me. Maybe you can help me overcome, because you can already tell I am very skeptical about this. Right? I'm very skeptical about this because this is telling me that they assume that the reason people quit the game is because they cannot fly mining barges on day one, or they can't fly, do advanced exploration on day one. You can. There are so many things you can do on day one, right? And the learning curve is so high that, I mean, I think with the 1 million skill points that basically everyone should get from a referral code, right? I mean, you have to live under a rock to not know about the 1 million points. You can go out, you can go do faction warfare, you can do tier 1 exploration, you can do mining and adventure. There's a ton of stuff you can do. I simply don't think the problem is you not having the skills to do that on day one and training into that, right? People want to fly big ships. Fucking bullshit, dude. And I mean, if you come in and you say, "Oh, I want to try this out. I want to fly a capital ship," then that's just, I mean, that is not what this game is about. That's not, that should be something special. If they threw it away like that, then whatever. But that's not what they're doing. They're talking about mining and exploration in the first step, right? And my point is this: so I don't think that is the problem with retention, right? I don't think that is the reason why the retention rate is bad. But if you do think that is the reason, right? And they obviously do, because otherwise they wouldn't do this. So this tells me they think that the reason people are quitting is because they cannot do tier 2 mining or tier 2 exploration from the get-go. If you really think that your game that is the hurdle, then give everyone those skills, right? I mean, I hate it, and I don't think that's that's the thing. Like, I don't think that's the problem. But if you do think that's the problem, that you can't play this game or you have no fun playing this game if you don't have those skills, then you need to give it to everyone. You can't sell it for real money, because that just looks incredibly cash grabby, right? That looks incredibly cash grabby, and it leaves such a bad taste in my mouth, right? Now, I think this is double bad, because I think that this isn't even the reason, and the answer is a wrong answer. So to me, both of this is not a good idea, right? Like the idea is not good because it doesn't address the problem, and the solution is a terrible solution for the imaginary problem. And that's my rant on the expert system. So I'm happy to be proven wrong, happy to be, but I fear that that's not going to be the case. But they have numbers that I don't have, so maybe everyone put in the exit survey, I want to fly tier 2 ships. But honestly, for me, as a new player and also creating new accounts, it's a huge like the way to a skill, like the way to training towards a ship, is way more fun than having the skill and flying it, because most of the time it's a letdown, right? Most of the like the anticipation is part of MMOs, right? The way of getting there. Like, I mean, if you have to use a WoW analogy, it's like, yeah, you know, you like once you finally have your mount, or back in Classic, you know, once you finally had your mount, that was amazing. But the way there was way better than being there, and that is just like I just think that this, I don't get it. I don't get why this would be the answer to this imaginary problem. I think if you're going to retain more players, I think what you have to do is you have to get more people into corps, right? You have to get more people into a community, because playing Eve alone is very, 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 very lonely and very tough. And the hurdle to getting into a corp is actually quite high for people that come from other MMOs. It's not quite like just joining a guild or something. It's more involved, and it's more tricky than that, right? And also it's sometimes a little bit more hostile, but you know. Or two, you have to do a better job at showing new players what they can do at lower skills, because if you're saying that I need to pay real cash to get the expert system for exploration, I don't get it. I don't get it, because you can create a fresh character, put them into a Heron, and you can have, for a new player, already have so much to do, such a difficult thing to learn, a learning curve, that I don't want you to fly that forgot the name, Buzzard or whatever the tier 2 one is, exploration frigate. You need to learn how to do that shit before going there. Giving a new player letting the new player pay $10 and putting them into that tier 2 mining barge or tier 2 exploration ship isn't going to do shit. Because actually, not every situation. This is Eve. Not every tier 2 ship is better for every situation than a tier 1 ship. There's many reasons I still sometimes use a Heron for certain situations, right? And so I don't think the problem that they've seen is the problem. I don't think the solution is the right solution for the imaginary problem. And on top of that, I don't understand how this construct works, because I can't think of the scenario where a new player will benefit from this. I don't know. Astero is better anyway. Well, Astero is better in more ways, except it's way more expensive. So if you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you get killed, then it's not better than a Heron. If you get killed, which a lot of new players do, then a Heron is much better than an Astero, because they don't know how to evade on an Astero either. But yeah. So, sorry for that rant, right? I know that